computer. It's recording. And yeah, let's get started. Honey, I think na. All right. So, let's do this. So, a farmer has 2,400 feet of fencing, okay? And wants to fence off a rectangular field that borders a straight river. He needs no fence along the river. What are the dimensions of the field that has the largest area? So, um, which which part of the shape or rectangular field, guys, are we going to optimize? Is it the length or is it the area? Let me check our chat box. No? So, which elements of the rectangular field that we are going to optimize? Is it the length or is it the area? Your clue, guys, is technically the last statement or the last part of the sentence. Not sentence, but the problem. The area. So basically, that would give us an idea, guys, that the formula or the model, the mathematical model that we are going to get the area, no, we're going to get the optimization or the derivative is coming from the area, not coming from how long is the side of the river. Now, for us to have a better understanding how to solve this, guys, let's draw. Let's draw now. So, let me choose a color blue. Okay, kabawi mo. Basta river kay blue, biya na ba yun? So, river. Like a bridge over troubled river. Oh, di ba? Ay, kakapin kanta. For example, this is, imagine na lang siya nga, that's a straight river, ha? So, na yung mga fishes there, ha? How do you, how do you draw a fish nga? Ano, mga freshwater fish like tilapia, bangos, something like that. And then the farmer, nasa 2,400 feet of fencing. So the 2,400 feet, guys, that's the total length of the material that he can use to make the fence. And then he said he doesn't need to have a fence or border along the river. So technically, guys, if you're going to create the fencing, ang imo ra gyung magamitan o material na to fence is kani ra gyung part here. Kani, kana. Do you agree? Kanang black portion, kanang black part of the illustration is only the part nga where we can install the fence. Ngano wala may fence dapit sa water, sir? Mo may gibutang sa problem nga he said nga he needs no fence along the river. So maybe iyan ang gikural because he thought nga kani siya nga lugar di ihan ang area and that's the area asa siya mag-emotes kung masakitan siya ara siya makatubang sa river na maglabay-labay og bato kanang muntol-untol nga bato niglabay nimo sa river ba or whatever thing he wants to do near the river and he doesn't want to be kanang interrupted with other people so wanna give fence niya karon kaning 2,000 as I've mentioned earlier kaning 2,400 feet guys is the entire length of the material to be used to create or to move or no to make the fence kani siya guys kani siya here kani entire fence nimo guys kana siya dira. That's the 2,400 feet. It just so happened na we don't know pila diri, we don't know pila sa diri. Tama? There are possible ways like daghan gyud siya. Pwede nimo kanang bahin-bahino na nimo nga dapat kaning area here. Ay, let's say for example, I don't have my calculator. Let's say for example, 2,000 ni diri, 2,000 ni, 2,000. Yeah, diri kay tag 200. Pwede na siya nga possible way. Tama? And then, pwede po na siya guys nga 2020 diri, ana, and then tag 100 diri. Pwede sad nga 4,000 kanang pwede sad rectangular man daw. So pwede sa maghimo ani nga rectangular. Kana that's unsa man ni? Let's say 4,000 here and then tag 1,000 on each side. Okay, rectangular man gyapon siya. But the problem here man good is what are the dimensions? Unsa may dimensions, unsa may length dapat sa each side sa tuang rectangular field that would produce the largest area. So, magsugod na ta. I'm gonna erase possible scenarios pa if you want to like magbana-bana lang mo. So, Sige. Now, what is the formula if we talk about the total length of the rectangular field? What do you think is the model? What is that equation or mathematical statement? Length times 2 width. Okay, so where did you get that, Josh? What specific, how do you call it? Idea in geometry that you mentioned length times 2 width, 2 widths. What specific, how do you say it? What specific model lagi, what is area of the rectangle? Area? Mm, sure. I think if you remember the area of the rectangle, it doesn't have to actually matter if pila ka buok ang length, pila ka buok ang width. The area is just given by length times width. Tama? It doesn't consider kung pila ka buok ang length, pila ka buok ang width. So long as kabawa ka pila ang length, how long is the length, and so long as you also know how long is the width, then you multiply both numbers. That's the total area of the rectangle. But the thing is, what I'm trying to ask is, I'm talking about the 2,400 feet. What do you think? What model can you think of that we can relate to that? Very good, Moises. Perimeter. Perfect. Look, mga bright. Did you eat your breakfast, guys? So I think ready na ta for an exam, no? Ready na ta for exam. Sir, ang examples ba mo, sir, kay it's easy. And then when it comes to the test, kay magsalimuang nami. Sige. Very good point, Moises. It's perimeter. That's a good answer. Very good. Okay, that's a good point. Guys, Moises has presented a very good model, but Moises, you can actually just do one L lang instead of two L's. Because if you notice in our rectangular field, we only have one length, which is this one here, and a portion here. We didn't have a fence along the river. Does it make sense? So technically, the model that we should be using first, that we are going to consider, is the perimeter of a rectangle, which gives us 2 2 width plus 2L. That's going to be, if it's a complete rectangle, guys, in ana siya forma. Width, L, L. Unfortunately, in our illustration here, we don't have one side here because that's along the river portion. So if we're going to take the perimeter of that one, guys, the L here, the 2L here becomes 1L na lang. So technically L. Does it make sense? Na nagets ra so far? Okay, very good. So we know that the total length of the material to be used for fencing is 2,400. So we're going to change 2,400 to, we're going to change P to 2,400 and then 2W plus L. Okay, now, as I've mentioned earlier, diba, I asked earlier, what model we need to get the derivative, we need to get the differentiation. It's the largest area, man. So the optimization process will happen in the derivative in the area formula. But the thing here that we have here, this is not the area formula. It is the formula for the perimeter. So the area formula, as I've mentioned earlier, is given by this model. Length times width. No? Now, if you notice, if you remember atong last time, atong discussion last week, guys, di ba I said as much as possible, you express this side here of the equation in just one term lang yun. Okay? One term lang yun just say. Na may option nga to choose. Which one? L or W? It doesn't have to be like, dapat L yun. It doesn't have to be like, dapat L yun just, sir. It's up to you guys. It doesn't matter. So I want you to decide which one or which variable you want me to retain, L or W. So let's keep W then. Okay. Now, we want to keep W, so this is okay already. I'm going to check that. Ang ato lang i-manipulate, guys, is the length. Where to find the expression for the length? That's going to be coming from here. We can transfer 2W to the left side of the equation, changing its sign to its negative form. So that would become 2,400 minus 2W equals L. With that being said, we can substitute this expression to the L on the area side. So do this. Area equals 2,400 minus 2W, and that's because that's multiply, so times W. Amen? Agree? And then from here, para mas easier na to get the derivative, no, we don't have to do the sana katong product rule kay taas siya tan-awon. We're just gonna distribute the W first, and then from there we are going to get the derivative. Okay, again, this is now the area where the optimization process begins, because the question in the problem says what is or what are the dimensions of the field that has the largest area. So we're looking at the possible largest area. We're trying to optimize the area. So it's the area that we need to get the derivative. Okay? So we would get 2,400W minus 2W squared. Amen? I just distributed the W form, guys. Okay. And then, guys, you have the option to write A na lang, or if you want, you can also write A of W. Diba? That's how we usually function. That's how we usually write function. Diba? Diba? Kana mga f of x na to, na, all mga terms na rin nga nasa right side kay mga x pod. Okay, so we're good. Are we ready to get the derivative na? So we're gonna solve for the derivative na, ladies and gentlemen. So A prime W. What is the derivative of 2,400W? Very good. 2,400. There. And what is the derivative of negative 2W squared? 4W. There. Amen? Amen. And what's our next step? We need to find the critical value, right? Remember how to find the critical value? To equate the derivative to 0 and solve for the unknown variable. So our next step is I'm gonna change to another color. So we're gonna change the derivative into 0 and then solve 2 for W for W. Amen? Okay. So if we're going to transfer 2,400 on the other side, that becomes negative 2,400. Keeping the negative 4W on the right side rather, and dividing both sides by 4, we get our W as what? Pila na, guys? I don't have my calculator, guys. One thing na nabiling sa balay ang calculator pa dyan. 600. Very good. Okay. Now, remember mo atong kwan, guys? Remember mo atong theorem before that I mentioned na for a specific C, i-solve mo sa derivative substituting that C, if the value is greater than 0, meaning to say there is it's a maximum. If the derivative is less than 0, meaning to say it's minimum, right? Do you remember that? Let me try to see. Where's my? Let me get my. Kato ganing C. I mean, it's not. It's increasing and decreasing by the way. So if if the derivative is if the first derivative of a specific function, guys, is greater than 0, then the function is increasing. If the derivative is less than 0, then the function is decreasing. Remember mo na katong kanang concept? Yeah. Okay. So we already have a W, guys. We already have a W. So what do you think? Is it the first derivative or the second derivative? I'm pretty sure wala pa ko nag-cover of second derivative, no? Let me check. Lagi first derivative lagi. Okay. It's the first derivative. So, um, we already have, a W of 600. Now, it would be easy for us to solve the L na. Okay? How to solve for the L? You can actually use the formula that we have here, this black one, because that's the easiest way for us to be able to solve for W. So if we are going to do that, so we have 2,400 minus 2,600 equals L. 2,400 minus 12, no, 1,200 equals L. So L is 1,200. Tako? Tako? Okay, very good. So in other words, guys, the dimension, the dimension of the rectangular field that is being asked in the problem, this one here, this portion here, is 1,200 because that's the length, and this one here, the width, each is 600. And if we're going to add all these numbers, it would sum up to the total amount of no, total length of 2,400 feet. Question so far. Murag kuyawan ko ani guys, nga kana ganing ako laptop man gud guys mag-overheat kay siya kay mo auto turn off siya. And then ang ako extension na try for some reason wag tang na. Wait sa ha. Let me try to. So guys, I will give you like mga mga ahay. Iswag sa kay murag well, discuss na pa mo sige. Mukalit na katiorok akong laptop and overheat na siya. Anyway, so guys, question so far. Masabtan ra? Masabtan ra na, uy. Kamukha. I think better na. No? Question so far. Without a smile. How come we use perimeter from the start? That's a very good question. Okay. Where's my pencil? Hoy! Eh, wala akong pencil. Sir, how come that we use perimeter from the first part of the problem? That's a good question, guys. Ano yung good siya? If we were to go directly with what you want, which is the area right away, ano siya? Remember that we need to optimize the area. That's the whole thing. We need to optimize the area. And if we wish to get the derivative ending apart here, guys, it's gonna be hard for us to do the derivative because we have two unknown variables, which is the length and the width. Sir, how did you know kuan? Of course, the area food, sir. What about the area, sir, guys? So imagine, guys, if we're going to optimize this right away without like expressing one of them in terms of the details that you have in the problem, would it be possible for you to solve a specific value after you get the derivative? What do you think? Dili, tama? You can't solve it, tama? So yeah, it's hard, guys. It's hard. Now, if you're going to tell me, sir, nganong perimeter in the nganong perimeter sa tanan good, sir? Because if we were to use another formula, guys, what do you think we can have? Ano may lain siguro perimeter of area ramang naa sa mga sana, especially mga rectangular plane figures. The reason also why it's perimeter, it's, imagine, guys, the 2,400 feet is the total length of the material to be used in fencing. And when we talk about the total length, you're just adding all the sides. Tama? Do you agree? And when you add all the sides of the total field that needs to be fenced, you're technically solving for the length. I mean, you're technically solving for the perimeter. Do you agree? Kaugpid agree. No? Does it make sense now, Josh? Okay. Ang fencing, sir, yes. Very good. Wait sa akin, Equate. Secretary job. All right. Sige, let's work on another problem. Let me take a screenshot of it. Guys, I would suggest nga if you really want to like kuan ba kanang study more examples, I can provide I can suggest a good website, a good book for calculus. I know nga dili niyo feel, pero if you want to dwell more, it's calculus for early transcendental 8th edition by James Stewart. Kana siya. Ila mo ana. Hey James, what's up? What are you doing, nigga? Ano ba? So guys, okay na ta? No question so far? Okay, very good. So let me take a screenshot of another example. How about this? Let's make it a little harder. Honey, let's have this example. Ano? A cylindrical can is to be made to hold 1 liter of oil. Find the dimensions that will minimize the cost of the metal to be manufacture the to be to manufacture the can to be. No idea so far. Medyo complicated siya, sir. Sige, I'll give you 2 minutes now to think about it. Do you see this? Do you still see the whiteboard, guys, with the problem? Do you still see it? Okay. So 1 equals 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared. Okay. 2 pi RH, 2 pi R squared. Okay. Josh, I'm so happy for the right side of the equation. That's totally good. What is that? Can you tell me what is that? What is how do you represent that 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared? Where did you get that from? How did you come up with that specific situation? Okay. Area of a cylinder. Okay, very good. Um, Josh, when you say 1 liter of oil, when you buy Coke, Josh, diba, your mom would tell you, "Gig, palit ka to sa kuan ka o kanang sa grocery, 1 liter of Coke." When you say 1 liter, is that talking about the area or talking about the volume? Actually, actually, wala pa ko nahuman, Gwen. Wala pa ko nahuman. I'm still asking, I'm still asking Josh. Kaya iya mong gigiporma nga, ang 1 equals, sa tingin gibutang, um, 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared. Ang kanang 2 pi RH plus 2 pi R squared, just to let you know, guys, for those everyone who don't know it, that's the surface area of the thin can. That's the surface area of the can, or the material that needs to be formed into a can. Now, iyang equate into 1. The question here, the 1, it's 1 liter in the problem, di ba? And if you're going to go to like grocery and your mom instructs you to buy 1 liter of Coke, technically you are asked to buy 1 liter of Coke ang hinaghanon sa Coke, not the actual bottle. It's the volume of the liquid. Tama? So Josh, with that being said, we cannot equate 1 because 1 is in terms of volume and the right side of your equation is in terms of the surface area. Yes, but the liquid will fit into the shape of the container. But ang katura ng imo, ang kadara yang ang imong gi-consider na just ang katurang kanang naa sa kilid sa volume, kilid sa liquid. How about katong naa sa sulod gud sa inner? Sige. I have a I have a what do you call this? Ito gani. Tumbler. I have a tumbler. If ako ni fill in og water, guys, mo makita because of the background. Bati sa background diri sa school, guys. Sige, ako na lang i-remove and let's be kanang asa man yung background filters none ako pati akong background sa pasensya na lang yung classroom, guys, ha. Sige. Sige. So I have a container here. I have a tumbler here. If I'm going to fill this in with water or liquid, guys, ang i-consider ni Josh, guys, ang kanara ng ang kana ganing surface sa water. Ang katong naa sa sud gyud, katong inner portion sa water, dili niya maapil og count, dili niya maapil og consider. Do you get the point? Sige. I'm gonna draw, guys. I'm gonna draw para makuha gid ninyo ang situation. Before ta maghimo og cylinder ka can, guys, dapat naman gati shape, na ito flat shape. Ana. Mo man gyud ang forma. Tama? Do you agree? Right? And then, and then, ato na siyang i-curve para maporma siyang can. So, let me just draw it like in ani nga draw. Kasi siya ay kaninyo, guys, ako draw kay simang ka. Ana, and then, ana, and then, di ba, we do this, ana, ana, and then, there. Di ba? Na-imagine ninyo ang mahitabo. So if this is the flat surface, if I'm going to like to form it into a can, di ba mo anak siya forma? Di ba like this na? It's already a can. Like, imagine na ninyo. Di ba inani siya, guys? I can see you. Di ba inani siya? Di ba na siya? So, okay. Now, so ato ni kuan guys, kung ato ni isumpay here, kung ato ni isumpay here, kani siya, di ba, you would see that this portion here becomes a circle. Tama? Do you agree? Circle. And then, ang atong gi-consider ana guys, di ba, ang gipangutana is, sa gipangutana, find the dimension man. So we need to find unsa may length ani sir? Unsa may length ani kaning kurbada sa circle here? What is a formula that you can use for that? The curvature or the that's not. Yes, we have to optimize the shape. So the idea here guys, dili ang volume mo i-optimize, ang shape sa can. Find the dimensions of the can that will minimize the cost of the metal to manufacture. We optimize the shape, not the volume. Are we good? Sige, go. How do you measure this guys? Kung ako nang siyang kanang nga circle ba, kung ako siyang pormahong inana, di ba? Flat ba na inana? Kung if we're going to look at like if we're going to be on the top of the circle, di ba? Inana ang forma. How do you solve this? How do you solve this length here of the circle? How do you solve that? Or what do you call that sa part of circle? Di ba? It starts with letter C. Circle, sir. What do you think? Circumference. Perfect. And what is the formula for circumference? Kuan? Patricia. 2 pi r. Great. So 2 pi r. Ay, sorry. 2 pi r. 2 pi r. 2 pi r. 2 pi r. And because you're going to create a can, that is okay, another 2 pi r there is sa ubos. So dapat na kay duha ka buok 2 pi r. Amen? Is it 2 pi r? 2 pi r siya? What do you think? I-confirm daw, guys. So pi r. Very good. Okay. Karon, guys, ang kana siya guys, if imong hunahon guys, ang imong i-consider ana is ang side lang sa circle. Tama, that's 2 pi r. Pero technically, you are making a can man. So dapat dili na siya buslot dira sa tunga. Agree? Dili siya buslot dira sa tunga kanang circle. Kaya you're making a can ba ya? So dapat kanang naa na siya una or naa na siya kanang element or naa siya something dira. Unsa may mahitabo sa formula karon from circumference? Unsa may mahitabo? That becomes the area of a circle. And what's the formula for the area of a circle? Pi r squared. So, ang mahitabo ani guys, ang tangon ako ng kana dira, mahimo na siyang pi r squared. Agree? Agree? And because duha man nakabuk ang babaw ug ang ubos, imagine na guys na magluto mo beef loaf or kanan sa corn beef, di ba duha man nakabuk na sa babaw na sa ubos. So duha ka buk area sa circle, no? So duha plus another pi r squared. Are we good? Nakasinabot na ta? Okay. Now, ang ato na lang problema guys is, sir, ang lawas sa imuhang tin can. Sakto? Ang lawas sa imong tin can. Unsa kay maporma? What do you think is the kuan guys? What do you think is the formula sa lawas sa tin can? Ang clue, one of the clues guys, kinana gani ako nang i-mention. Di ba? From here, before yung siya na forma, di ba? Mao man ni rectangle. Tama? And because we are making a can, we are considering the area of this rectangle here. Agree? Which is the length and the width. What is the area of a rectangle? Diba? We're given the area of the rectangle equals length times width. Agree? Ako sa down ang siling panggit sa kasi palit ng papiurok ang laptop. Agree? Agree. Very good. So, in other words, if kabaw ko sa formula aning entire circle nga kilid lang, nga side, that's gonna be the length. Kaya mo man na formang circle. And then, kung kabaw ko sa length ani, that becomes the height of the cylinder or the can. Now, imagine na good guys. From a rectangle, no? Diba, remember mo ang length? Yan, ikpurma ni mag-circle, ana, this becomes a circumference na. No? Yan, kani, mahimo na ning height. So basically, ang lawas sa can, guys, will be given by the formula 2 pi r times h. Agree? Na nagets lang anong 2 pi r times h? Okay, di ba? Maumani ang 2 pi r, which becomes the circumference of the can. Ang kani siya becomes the height. So that's gonna be the, technically the width before. So mo ng 2 pi r h. No? Nagets na? So, ang katong gingon ni Josh ganiha guys, mo ni nahitabo niya. Mo na ang surface area actually. Duha ka buk ani, which becomes 2 pi r squared plus usa na, which is the lawas of the can. No. Nagets na? Are we good? Goods na. Karon, ang problema ani sir, we notice sir nga, sa right side of the equation, there are two different variables, which are r, which is the radius, and the height. Kung saan kahana siya, sir? What do you think? Sir, dili ko ka automatically solve sa derivative ana, sir, because I have two different variable. What do you think? Going back sa volume, what's the formula sa volume for cylinder, guys? Sige, batangan akong subscript na volume. We need to say volume of a cylinder. What's the formula sa volume of a cylinder? Pi r squared h. So it's going to be pi r squared h. Let me check my solutions para ma-compare. Very good. And we know what is the specific value of the volume. And that's 1 liter. Or we can say it's 1,000. Diba? 1 liter is thousands man a liter. Pi equals r squared. Amen? Amen? Sir, basig malibog na mo guys nga. Sir, ngano na himong 1,000 ang 1, sir? Liter man siya, guys. Liter. Yeah, liter is 1,000 man na siya, guys. In terms of height, 1,000. Okay na? Okay, we can solve this thing here in terms of h. Dividing both sides by pi r squared. So this would become h equals 1,000 over pi r squared. We can now substitute that h para sa surface area nga to ang i-optimize katong gingon ni Josh ganiha nga, sir, ang dimension ng surface area i-optimize, yes, mauna siya. So, ang atong buhaton is aton na isa siya ng h, guys, sa kanang formula, and that becomes a equals 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r times 1,000 over pi r squared. And we can simplify it. A equals 2 pi r squared. Makancel si pi, tama? 2 times 1,000, that becomes 2,000 over r. Makancel lang sa ka r and then napayo sa ka r sa denominator. Are we good? No? Nakasinabot na? Okay. We're gonna take the derivative na. We're gonna take the derivative na. Para mas dali sa tuwa guys, I'm gonna rewrite the equation first. A equals 2 pi r squared plus 2,000 r negative 1. Para magpang-rule na lang to. Yun ako mag-quotient rule. Sige. Kung sa may derivative, ano? A prime equals, sa mani? 4 pi r. Sakto? Anong first expression? 4 pi r. Yes. And then minus 2,000 r squared, negative 2. Okay, bring down yung negative 1 and then minus 1 ka sa negative 1. So it's negative 1 minus 1. That becomes negative 2. And then ang 2,000 times negative 1, mahimo negative 2,000. Okay na? Okay. Ato ting equate to 0. Equate to tag 0. 0 equals. So may tabo ani guys kay 4 pi r minus 2,000 over r squared. Sige. I'm gonna combine the right side of the equation. So r squared. This becomes 4 pi r cubed minus 2,000. And then we're gonna do cross multiplication. 0 equals 4 pi r cubed minus 2,000. Just one moment, huh? Hi guys. So, kumusta na? What's the answer? For your R, to transfer 2,000 here equals 4 pi R cubed. And then R cubed 2,000 over 4 pi. R is cube root of 2,000 over 4 pi. Ilan na guys? Pag-simplify ko B. Can someone confirm it? Five point 42. So the dimension guys would be ang length kani 2R, so that's 2 pi, 5.42. Transfer na sir, no? Mo transfer sir? And then, kung sa resulta ana, that's one of the dimensions. The other one, guys, is the 2 pi r height, which is, ilan man na? 2 pi. Karon, unsa ang pag-solve sa height ani sir? What do you think? The height, guys, will be solved using here. And our r is 5.42 squared. So, kung sa resulta ana, guys, mo ni ibutang ninyo diri. So, times, it's already 901, guys. Pahumanas ako pa 1,000 over pi 5.42. So, kani, i-simplify lang ning duha. This is the length and this is the width. That's a dimension. Question. Guys, question so far. All right, great. Thank you so much. It's already 9:02. Kasi next subject ninyo. Kasi research. Ah, okay. Maklase siya? All right. Thank you so much, guys. And um, I'll upload siguro more examples sa atong account, atong content para at least na may mga backup. I'm gonna upload questions. Na? Great. Thank you so much, guys. And you do take care. Batik ko. Anyway, thank you. Buyers.